Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It has been quite a while since I've done a video working on my comic. So hopefully the game plan is I can get back into the routine of working on it and recording it, so that way I can have that on the video now or on my channel. It's been a while. I haven't been motivated to actually work on it, and then I've had a lot of stuff come up, and I've been busy working on some other stuff. So, it is what it is. So yeah, we're gonna try to work on finishing up this page. I think honestly, the little that I need to do, as far as line work goes, would be the gods that I have up here. These guys. Especially this here, and then working on getting some of this figured out here. That's gonna be frustrating. Anyway, before we get into that, you guys can hear 7. I'm almost finished with this sketchbook here, and I'm actually pretty happy. It's almost been about almost a year. I started in August of 25, and right now we are in June of 26. I'll show you guys a few pages that I'm actually pretty happy about in this book, and then maybe one day I will do a video flip through of this. I am happy with this guy here. I was gonna try to do 1 out of 100. I might end up doing it later on down the road, but as of right now, no. I've got some creature illustrations here. This one, and this one are the ones that I did. That was from a study. This was a lizard study. And then this was a dragon design based off that study. What I was doing, this is actually one of my favorites. I actually did do a larger version of this, and I'm going to change some things around, because this will be a creature that my Pathfinder group is going to be facing off on. This was a follow along lesson from Draw Session on YouTube. Not the exact same, but I was able to learn a lot from semi following along creating this creature. Stop it. But yeah, so hold on. So what I did with these was that I looked up a creature, specifically this one, and it was of course an animal. Let's say a creature, an animal. I broke it down to the basics of shapes, and then from the shape breakdown, did the shape breakdown again, and then went into the details, and then took the same exact shape, and then did my own version of it. Excuse me, to create some type of dragon. With this one, I specifically more wanted to look into the skin folds and the elongation of the mouth and then the nostril. This one was from a frog. I forgot what type of frog it is, but they have horns. I didn't do a breakdown. I just kind of used a little bit of reference while taking kind of what I learned from this, and then also this and that. And then this one, I took inspiration from how this one looked, and then I think these were from like a moth or something along those lines. And then I was looking into kind of like the skin of some turtles, I think here, and the eye. I think the eye is from a frog eye. But yeah, there's that. You guys see this guy. Of course, like a alligator or crocodile. Maybe a crocodile. Maybe crocodile. I don't know. I forgot the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. I know it's the shape of the nose, like the snout part area. But I took the study of this, broke it down to shapes, did the study, and then I created a dragon based off of that. I did try to color it with marker, and I did do pencil first, and then I did marker over it. I don't like the marker on it. I think that was, yeah, I didn't like the marker. I felt like the marker was too dark. I didn't like it. So yeah, but that's for its sketchbook, so it kind of helps you throw ideas out. And then I've got some stuff back here that I'm working from a book, but those are the drawings that I'm actually very proud of within this sketchbook. This is not like my second sketchbook as far as the ones that I've had throughout my life. This is just the second one like this one, because the first one you guys have seen, which would be this guy here. The only difference is I drew something on this with a Posca, a fine tip Posca. I think it was a Posca. Was it a Posca? Is it a 7 stop it? Yeah, Posca marker. So I used this one. It's a bullet shaped Posca. It was scratchy because it's not like a felt tip. So it was kind of scratchy, and I had to kind of learn how to work with that. But this is actually based off of a drawing I did. This guy here. It's just I didn't plan this out, so I literally freehanded this and was like, you know, however it comes out is how it comes out. So, but this is almost done. So after I finish this one, I'll do maybe I'll do a sketchbook flip through of the first one and the second one. I think I've done the first one already, but I'll do it again just in case with the second one, and go from there. And I've got a third one that I have ready to go when my second one is done, because I only have, I think, 5 more pages left in that one, and then there will be, and then I'll be starting this one. I already put stickers on the front of it. I did do stickers on the front because these ones I'm not too concerned about, but if I do get some artist stickers, then those will go inside. So this is actually just from a sticker pack that my grandmother gave me, actually. I can show you guys. This one, actually. This is the one she gave me. So the stickers that are on this, I've just used to decorate my sketchbook. I should have put the unicorn on there. On the next one. So, all right. So that's it on that. Let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to move you guys up here. I'm not really sure what I really want to do with this. I know these are the gods, but I don't know if I really want to kind of just have them in shadow. I don't really want them to have a face. I mean, if anything, that's fine. So I have already warmed up today. I've been drawing for quite a while, working on excuse me, the fantasy map making book. Excuse me, jeez. Because I'm working through that because I am since I GM for a group, I have a world that I'm creating. I've shown you guys before, but the world that I'm creating like all the maps and stuff. So there's a lot going on with that. So I want to be able to draw these maps and stuff like that, as well as I'm also doing my own world building project. So the players that I GM for also are pretty much them exploring my world, and them playing in my world is helping me develop my world for certain things I really wouldn't think about and stuff like that. So them doing what they're doing has actually been beneficial. I need poses. That's not what I'm looking for. So, like I said, them playing in my world has actually been a huge benefit. So I'm trying to get this taken care of. Boom, there we go. Lighting, where's lighting at? So, but I know at some point I'm gonna need to look into like food and stuff like that when it comes to my characters. So yeah, the head. Actually, undo. There we go. And I'm pulling up models. I'm going to use models. I'm not gonna try to wing stuff that I don't know how to draw. Whatchamacallit might actually end up. I guess I'll have to do. I don't see. Girls have boobs, and this is gonna irritate me because I'm not gonna be able to really. I'm just gonna have to pull this off to the side then, so you guys won't be able to see that. But anyway, yeah. So actually, let me twist this back here. There we go. But anyway, yeah. So I have a sketchbook, dog hair, 7. That will be specifically dedicated to my world building. So I want to kind of lighten this up. So anything as far as what I think certain things may look like in the world is going to go in there. So it, not necessarily things that are set in stone, but certain ideas like maybe portals or creatures, anything like that. Hoichu. I'm going to put in that particular sketchbook, and then later on down the road, I can finalize stuff. And then I can take everything from that sketchbook and not take everything, but take the things that I would solidify for that particular world. Excuse me. And put that in my put that in an actual book where I can have that. So the head's too small. Head is way too small. But yeah, so that's what I've been, well, it hasn't been, I might have been up to lately, but that's currently the stuff that I've got going on that I want to focus on. I am still working on the how to draw series on my YouTube channel. I am continuing that. I'm just taking a lot more time with that, unfortunately, just due to trying to, like I said, I've had a lot of stuff come up. Some things out of my control, some things are in my control. But one of the things that I was kind of struggling with for quite a while was just the motivation to really work on anything and get back into a groove. So that unfortunately kind of sucked to try to get that. Let's bring this down a little bit more. And when I sit at my desk, I was focusing on other stuff, but it was, I guess, focusing on the other things was beneficial because it was allowing me to get into this mindset of genuinely enjoying drawing again without any pressure, and that was definitely beneficial for me. I know this is going to be here. This is the midsection, and then maybe the breasts are gonna actually, let me do this. No, here. Probably that's pretty much probably all I'm gonna see from this. And then this particular side, we will see the curvature of the breast here, and then But anyway, sorry as I'm trying to concentrate. That's like the rib cage here. Actually, this will go here. And then I'm actually going to widen the hips here. I feel like this is off. This is here. And the hips would be here, somewhere here, so that means this. Probably something like that, maybe. I feel like she's leaned too far back, though. Honestly, that's fine. Just be protruding out slightly. Arm here. Maybe something like that. And then I do want to draw through it because I need to figure out where stuff is going here. So, and then here, and then maybe here because the hips kind of go here. Not sure why this character, jeez, is leaned so far back. But for whatever reason, got some hips on her, and then you're not really going to see anything else because there's going to be another character right here. And honestly, so maybe like something like that. And then maybe something like here. Something like this, and then something like that, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really quite sure, but we'll leave it at that for right now. And then bullshit. I have to do a slight pick up just a little bit because that's a character here. And we are this page really frustrates me. Sad, unfortunately. I'm so ready to be done with this page, honestly. So ready to be done with this page. I think it's because these characters at the top are a little frustrating. Just a little bit. Is this supposed to be another male or a female? I don't know. Shit, I don't know if this is supposed to be a male or a female. I think a guy? Female, female, male, female, male, female. Male? Shit. I'm about to do this. Male, female, male, female. So that's a male. And female, female. This is supposed to be a guy. It's supposed to be a male. And the reason I know that is because I have more female gods in this world than I do male. No. I really do need to come up with my own mannequin system for characters or for drawing in general, honestly. I feel like that would be beneficial for me. I am slowly working through the I need to make this longer. Yeah, I need to make this probably a little bit longer. I am slowly working through the How to Render book by Scott Robertson. Scott, is it Robertson or Robinson? Robertson with a T, Robertson, by Scott Robertson and Thomas Bertling. You know what's so funny? I have seen people do quote unquote a review, and I say it like that because I don't think I've seen, I think outside of maybe one person who did a review, I think they worked through the How to Draw book, but I don't think I've seen an actual review of the How to Render book in a sense of that the person reviewing the book has actually, I'm getting confused here, sorry, this goes here, and then this goes here, has actually worked through. I'm probably going to end up expanding this chest out. Because I'm going to figure out, I'm going to do the silhouettes. Probably be just like the actual muscle, that like the actual like detailed muscle silhouette of the figure. But I've yet to see, and then like break it up with I'll figure it out. But I've yet to see someone do a actual review of the How to Render book, in a sense of they have actually worked through the book and can talk about like the information and how they have learned how to apply apply that information. A lot of, I'm not drawing the deltoid big enough. A lot of the information has been touching on what the book Jesus, sorry guys. What the book covers as far as touching on the sorry, let me draw this out. Having to relearn how to draw and talk at the same time. But a lot of the videos that I have seen, it's buried somewhere deep within the YouTube, is that the stuff that people are covering is talking about the oh my gosh, the table of contents in the book, and maybe a few pages on the few pages at the beginning of the book, and then just kind of like what you can see the book is going to cover, I guess, in a sense, flipping through the book. But I have yet to come across a video that talks about, like, yeah, in this book they discuss the texture in this particular chapter, and these are the exercises that I did, taking the concepts from the book, from the concepts that the book is teaching me, and applying it to what I'm learning or exercises that I've done to help learn to apply that information. And I understand that the book is extremely dense. There's a lot of information. I'm not going to say that it's not, because it definitely is. But people have done, like I said, a review of the book, but I've yet to see very much on someone actually working through the book. And I think in even the How to Draw book, I have seen very few videos of people talking about actually working through the actual book itself as well. It is very much so people talking about what the book covers, yes, but let me zoom in here. Actually, I could just use, there you go. But very few actually talking about, like, yes, this is the stuff that I've got, like, this is what it teaches, this is how I've applied it, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Very few. Very few. I wonder if I want to include the hairstyles into, what if I want to do hairstyles? Oopsies. Is this sticker coming up too? I'm gonna have to move these stickers that I have on top of here. It's gonna irritate me. Probably put those in my sketchbook. Damn, that sucks. All right, it is what it is. Because they keep coming up at the top here, and I think it's because of the fact that yeah, this is coming up. I'm just gonna put it in my other sketchbook because of it's on wood. So that's fine. That's fine. Put this in my sketchbook here. Put a little glue so that way it doesn't move. Where the hell's my glue at? Where's my glue at? What I do with it? You know what I did with it? Because I don't. I found it. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry, you can't see me real time. I actually put this sticker in my sketchbook, the new one, just so I can get this. I don't keep accidentally hitting it with my, or accidentally scraping it off with my paper by accident. I'd rather just put it in my sketchbook now. Be one less thing I have to do. And I'm gonna put this down. I'll put this over here because at some point I do need to put my actual information that I have covered up in every video in my sketchbooks. So put this here. There you go. All right. All right. So, but even with the how to draw books, sorry, going back to what I was saying, very few people that I've seen actually talk about how they've worked through the book and how it has benefited their improvement in drawing. So with the how to render book, I really do want to take my time to work through it and really apply the information that's teaching to my actual art. I was trying to debate if I was going to do hairstyles, right? I don't think so. I think these are just going to be silhouetted gods. Which means I don't really, well, I'm going to do the eyes. So I want people to see the eyes. I'm not sure what to talk about at the moment with this. I guess I'm just doing silhouette as I flesh out the face. I will say one thing that I have been doing outside of course, drawing, right, is finally started watching Game of Thrones. And I know it has been years since that show has come out and has ended and everything. And so his eye is too far back. This is the ear area. So this is the face here. And then we'll work on the nose. So that'll be the eye, brow, so eyeball, nose, mouth. But sorry, but yeah, I started watching the Game of Thrones series, and it's been one coworker that it's been one coworker that I've been talking to about it, because he found out that I was watching it, so he's kind of wanting to get my input on certain characters, like my thoughts on certain characters and stuff. I'm not gonna watch the any of the new shows they have out regarding Game of Thrones. Like, I know they have the House of Dragons, I think it's what it's called, which is supposed to be like a prequel to the Targaryens. But honestly, I could care less. I don't really care about that, so I'm not going to watch it. I was trying to draw the lips in, but that's going to be shaded in anyway. But yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. One, I don't do streaming services outside of Tubi, because it's free at the moment. And the fuck? Am I doing the nose wrong here? Stop. Sorry, I'm at the getting close real quick. Sorry, guys. Gotta. Stop. I want to be able to see what I was doing there. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm not going to watch any of the other shows. Like I said, I don't have streaming. I'm not getting streaming. And honestly, I don't really care too much actually, I don't care at all to learn about how the Targaryens, I think that's them, right? How they've gotten to where they are before the Game of Thrones show. I was going to, I'm trying to also get my finances situated and do better with that. So I've been a little bit more cautious of spending. I will say that I almost went and got the hell? Is that muscle? What's going on with that? Yeah, I guess so. It's funny, I almost went and got a TV today. I bought a new TV for my living room. And then I really thought about it and I was like, I can wait, because right now the TV that I have in my living room is a 30 something inch. I thought it was bigger than that. I thought it was like a 40 something. I don't know why, but whatever. But I was thinking about getting a 55 inch for my living room, which would have been fun. I do want to at some point, but it can wait. It's not a priority right now. So the big box store, Walmart, they actually had a 58 inch for like $218, which I know is a pretty decent, it's a very good price considering it was more. And I would like to be able to upgrade my TV at some point, but it is not a priority. There are some things financially I would like to get accomplished before doing that. So for me, it was like, that's $200, I think with tax was like $230 something. That's $230 I can use towards something else. So it's gonna wait pretty much. So I'm trying to pull up some reference here. References. Adventure pack, Assassin's pack, character sheets. So, reference. Wait, it's mech reference. Mega pack. Male poses. Standing. It's not what I'm looking for. Mage pack. Olympic, maybe. There's no side view that I can really work with here. Anyway, here we go. But that's $230 I can use towards something else. Specifically paying off some credit card debt, so I would like to be debt free when it comes to my credit cards by the end of this year. I know I can do it. It's just I'm gonna have to be mindful of my spending throughout the year. I really need to study. You know what? I need to start making a list of the things that I need to study. Give me a second, guys. Because the arm from the side view is one of the things I need to work on. Give me a second as I make notes for myself. Possible website stuff, YouTube topics. Did I put anything in here about as far as studying? Apparently not. Okay, cool. Drawing ideas, animal insects inspiration. Where is my pen? Things to study. Torso and arm from side view. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, that's just kind of being a little bit more cautious about where I'm spending certain money, and because I would like to be able to pay off my debts before the end of the year. What is my eraser? Here we go. That means, I haven't said it already, I need to be cautious of or conscious about where I'm spending and how I'm spending my money. This is the elbow here. And as much as that is not fun for some people, me being able to slowly watch my debt disappear is actually exciting for me. And I'm the type of person where once I kind of get on a roll, it becomes like a game for me. Like right now, I currently have it to where I have an account, well, 2 accounts. And one is I think it's called a CD, but I don't touch the money unless I want to accrue a penalty for a certain amount of time. I think it's a CD. And it's a 12-month CD, but I have, every time I get paid, I have a certain amount of money go into that account off immediately. So before my check even hits my account, that money is already going to the CD. And then I have another account that my check automatically, there's a certain amount of money that goes into, based on how much I get paid, there's a certain amount of money that automatically goes into that account. And the way that works is I can't even touch that because I don't have a card for that account, like a debit card. And I purposely am refusing to go get one. So that way there's no temptation to withdraw that money and use it, or for me to look at it as, oh, I have X amount of money that I can go spend from that account. And that's not including like the savings account. And I'm not putting a lot aside, so I don't want people to think like, oh, like you're putting quite a lot away. I'm not. Baby steps, little by little. Or little is going into each of those accounts every check. And then hopefully, when I pay off my credit card debt, I can use the funds that I was using for my debt, and I can just start putting that into those accounts, or at least into one of those accounts until it matures. And then once it matures, invest it into it's not the S&P 500. I've got it saved on my I've got it written down somewhere, but it's similar to the S&P 500, but it just deals with more I want to say AI free specific companies, or less. Most of the companies that are within this one don't really deal with AI. So it's not your standard tech bro companies, I guess, if you want to say. But that way I can start investing a certain amount of money each month into that. So that way I can work on building up, for retirement and whatever else. So I think I need to make this bigger at the bottom. Well, let's save up for other goals. Right now, I'd like to save up for a house at some point, or get a house at some point, but I would like to pay off certain debts before that. Like I still do have like student loan debts, which is fine, as most Americans do. But I do want to work on paying those off as well. Like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, like I've got student loans and I'm okay with them just being there. I do want to work on getting those that taken care of as well at some point. So yeah. So this guy's pretty much done. So what I can do, even though I haven't sort of really fleshing out any of the other pages, right, as far as like finished stuff, but this guy is going to be shaded in. So this is going to be silhouetted. And I'm not going to spend my time doing this, at least not right now, but an idea of the direction that I'm going for the silhouette. And then what I'll do is maybe at the end of the day, after I scan all this stuff in, I'm gonna have to clean it up anyway, digitally. And then darken the lines. But because I'm gonna have to go back and like do this and then different directions for the silhouetting. And because of what I'm attempting to do with this comic, I'm not using harsh blacks or like inks. So most likely everything is going to be pencil. Well, not most likely, everything is going to be pencil. And I'm going to figure out how I'm going to have to do certain things. So this will be an experiment for me to see how things will go. But yeah, I'll end up doing that later. The faces, I'm going to have to work on these. Because I have to do this one. We are over an hour, I think. Yeah, just over an hour. So I have to do this and look down, and then I need to do female. And I think that is a good. I might have to. I can adjust her as I'm doing this, so that's fine. So let me lock the camera angle here. Unlock the character. Let me figure it out. There we go. Off legs. Let me do. And front. There we go. And then lock. Excuse me, guys. There we go. Boom. But anyway, let me do this so you guys can see what I'm doing here, because I have to work on this character now. It's funny because this is not as dark as it's showing up on camera. But we're gonna make it work. So like here, I need to figure out the face. And then here, I want to make sure that lines up, the direction. And then what I'm gonna do, probably the brow will probably go up some. Here, here, and here. And this might kind of seem weird to you guys, but this is a way for me to really make sure that I'm able to get the face to look semi-right. Because you can always smooth out stuff later. Like I can go in and then I have to do this off camera so that way I can actually see. actually get as close as I want without destroying the thing here. But this is here, right? And that means here is like the nose type area, but the eyes, maybe this would be one eye, and the other eye probably be here. So, which means you might only see the eyes. You might not even see the nose. I might not even do the silhouette of the nose for these figures. You might just see their eyes. But I want to put this in so that way I can see a little bit of what I'm doing here. I feel like I need to erase all of this here. It's like I got too much going on, and the pencil isn't helping. There we go. So maybe here. So maybe here, and then so this is the hairline. Now the hairline would actually be back here somewhere, because this is that's a big ass forehead. This is like the forehead area. And then, so we have here, like that. And that means this goes here. And then we've got something like that. Something like that, maybe. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have to constantly remind myself. It's trying to be nitpicky for a panel that people might only pay attention to for about 5 seconds. Or depending on stuff might get cut off because of word balloons and everything else. Even though I do want to try to be I'm trying to follow the style that throughout the comic for myself that I am setting. I also don't want to get hung up on the so minor details that they're not even most likely going to show up in print. So you have to be mindful. I have to be mindful of that as well. Because even if I did decide to say sell the original drawings, right? These original pages. The original pages are just the original pages. That neck is too thick. That neck is too thick. So we can I need to bring that in some. So we're gonna go here and then boom, like that. There we go. And then like that. And then something like that. And then probably would do something like this, or no. That can go here, and then do like this, and then maybe this is shorter than I thought. Here we go. I know this looks very boxy, but I can always go back in there and fix it later. right now I really just want to make sure that everything else looks kosher. And that's here, and then boom. Probably bring these up a little bit more. I can erase a lot of this. I'm going to go say here, and then here is, so boom, and here, and then this is like a teardrop shape for that. You won't even see the separation for the thing, but I'm gonna have to do like a large border around here to make sure that you can see the separated figures, because I can do a thin border. Like I can do a border that I'll give you an idea here, a marker testing paper, but I can't do like a border that's like, here's one figure and then here's like the second figure and there's a small line in between. I kind of need to have it something like this and then something like that, just so I can make sure that it's not gonna get it's not gonna bleed or whatever when I do printing. And I know a lot of the printer that I would like to work with, or that I would like to have print my stuff, I know they do the more digitalized files and stuff like that, so I don't think that the bleeding should be an issue, but I still don't trust it, so I want to make sure that I make sure that I'm covering myself when it comes to that. I'm trying to be as careful as possible with that. And then hopefully, I am in the process of slowly looking at how to up the production of my videos, I guess, in a sense. Like I'm not gonna buy new cameras. Like I record with my phone, and I think that provides a very nice quality when it comes to the quality of the video. Like I don't think there's any reason for me to try to like record in like 4K or anything like that. Especially, I think most people are probably watching, if they are watching this on their phone or anything, or on their TV, they're seeing everything in sorry, trying to match the hips here. They're seeing everything in either HD or 2K, but I doubt most people are watching videos in 4K on YouTube. I don't even think YouTube even has a lot of videos that will stream. So you can upload something in 4K, but stream in 4K because of compression rates and stuff like that. Like I know specific. Correct me if I'm wrong and if they've updated this, but I know like streaming services, what they would do is, even though you were paying for 4K, like 4K streaming, you really weren't getting 4K streaming, because at the end of the day, because of the oh my god, them having to compress the files for streaming and everything like that, you really weren't getting like 4K. Like you were maybe you were lucky if you were getting, I'll say if you were lucky, but you were probably, that 4K that you thought you were watching was probably only like 2K or HD. So here, and then that's what I do, draw through, boom, like that. There we go. So, I mean, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that is how streaming is going. Like, you're not really streaming what the video is saying. For if you're talking about like higher quality, like 4K and whatnot. I did go and spend money on getting a new SD card for my phone because of the recordings that I'm doing. I was at one point thinking about upgrading my phone, but I'm not gonna spend $600, $700 plus for a phone that has the same storage as my current phone, and all I have to do is just and with the same option of buying an external SD card to put into your phone to bump up the storage. So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and spend the cash to get a SD card so I can put it in my phone and just save my videos to that, which actually works out. So I spent $40, like $45, whatever, on a 64 gig SD for my phone. I think it was like $40. I think it was like $44, $45. I was thinking about doing like I think it was like 128, but they were asking for like 60 something dollars. And considering that I offload these videos onto my tablet to edit and then upload, it didn't make any sense for the extra storage, because I don't plan on having an excessive amount of videos just stored on my phone for no reason. So yeah. So I need to do this arm here. So let me just go ahead and spend the $40-something, get that taken care of. So now my phone has an additional 64 gigabytes of storage for my videos. And like I said, I'll just offload them when I am done. I do want to improve the editing of my videos. I think that's one of the things I was trying to say earlier, right? When I said I wanted to improve my quality of my videos. Outside of when it comes to the how to draw videos with the quality of those, I want to improve my editing when it comes to all of my videos, including these types of videos here, and making sure that I just want to up my game when it comes to that. I think there are certain things that I can do to improve engagement and stuff like that. So one of the things that I'm going to start doing is take notes, look at some other videos that I find pretty capturing, that maybe even if they don't do what I do, take notes on like their thumbnails, like trying to see what thumbnails make me click on a video. Not so much the topics that they're talking about, because I still want to stay true to the things that I talk about and discuss. I do like long format videos, and I know other people do as well, even though it doesn't seem to be very popular on YouTube. But I feel like once you kind of find your audience for that, like you're pretty much good at that point. But I want to start looking more into like the camera angles that they might be doing for other things outside of like this, because this is a literal, like a almost, I guess, almost a streaming type format when it comes to no bullshit format when I'm talking or discussing this comic. I'm talking more specifically regarding other things, like I said, like the drawing, like the how to draws. If I'm doing, when I start doing the painting videos again, those types of things, to kind of figure out what I can do to kind of make those a little bit more interesting and more engaging. So, and then also I want to redo my intros and make those a little bit more engaging and more, I guess, more me. I'm not quite sure how to say that. Kind of figure out how I want to do that. And then maybe have kind of like I have now, have two different intros. One that's going to be more geared towards kind of art stuff like this, so me working on like projects, and then a separate one that's going to be more fleshed out and better for the like how to draw or like the learning topic videos. So if you guys have any ideas, or if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and you guys can put down that in the comments and let me know. Working on, but outside of that, going back to this, one of the things that has helped me get re-engaged within this comic, let me zoom back out, is the fact that I'm doing this world building book for a project, I guess, whatever, right? Because, and also GMing for Pathfinder, because I'm GMing, I'm having to create these stories for my players to play in. Have to do settings and NPCs and main characters and plots and little stories and all this other stuff that they have to interact with. And a lot of the stuff, for the most part, as far as what the adventurers want to do, I am freeballing it. I am letting them explore the world as they want to, as actual adventurers, and then based on where they go and their actions, that will determine what they encounter and when. But I don't have I'm not following a specific storyline that you would get from like a book. I'm genuinely letting them explore this world, and then the things that they encounter, any type of stories that I create, or any missions or scenarios that I create, I will have them encounter as they enter certain areas, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm hoping I'm explaining that correctly. But this is this another female? Okay. Female, 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 male, female, male. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so female, 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 male, female, male, male. Here we go. So, and them exploring this world in a place that this comic doesn't even a part of this. They're in a world. They're in the same world as this comic, right? But they're on a completely, I would say, completely different continent of where this comic takes place, and I don't even think they're not even going to be in the same time frame, most likely. But they might encounter maybe some of the characters or run into some of the things that these characters, the main characters within my story, maybe would encounter or have encountered, because them exploring it blind, and me not really having anything to go off of, really, I think them exploring is helping me flesh out my world even more, and is having me flesh out areas of my world that technically aren't even involved in the story, but it's helping me flesh out the world to be able to have my world feel more alive, me be more engaged into my world, and being able to do other things based off of the world that I'm creating. Other projects, other I can do short stories, things like that. So that way it's just more engaging for myself and for possibly future projects down the road. So yeah, that's where I'm at when it comes to that. So yeah, I'm hoping all that makes sense. But yeah, so let me change this figure. I'm gonna do normal. There we go. I wish I could change. I wish there was a little bit more muscle or a little bit more meat on these figures. Mannequin, normal, whatever. Okay, I'll deal with that, I guess. So yeah, but I can explore things like maybe what they care, like the food in the area, the type of animals or creatures, which is one thing I actually have been doing. So for the characters or my players, outside of like simple stuff like rats and rat kings and like necromancers and stuff like that, what I want to start doing with them is having them fight and interact with creatures, like the boss battles, I guess you can say. Boss battles of beings that I have personally created. And that means that including like humanoid or human-esque characters, which means that I'm going to have to spend time in, and it doesn't have to be an excessive amount of time. I mean, at the end of the day, this is fantasy based, right? But I'm gonna have to spend some time in reference gathering, figuring out what they are going to be coming up against, reference gathering, and then actual time drawing those monsters or creatures, so that way they have a representation, a picture representation of what they're going against. I do have miniatures that I will be using more so for size reference, but I want to draw out and be able to put on the backside / what they will see, put an image on my GM screen so that they have an actual semi-illustration of what they're going against. This will also allow me to actually finish certain illustrations or have illustrations at the end of the year, specifically more towards actual characters and creatures, which is something that I've been wanting to work on for a while. So that also is going to mean that every month I'm going to have to create some type of creature or monster that no matter what, I'm expecting my characters to fight against. And depending on the situation, I might have to do a situation where I do both creature and character, because it might go either way. So I might have to do a situation where maybe for a few months I might have to do maybe double the creature and or a character, like one creature, one character for a few months, so that way I can kind of have a backlog of creatures or characters to pull from that they can fight against depending on the scenario, outside of, like I said, like stuff like, giant spiders and rats and goblins and stuff, and have those for backup for future sessions. But being able to do, I'm trying to figure out the planes here. Sorry, guys. Being able to play as the GM and being forced to, in a sense, create or create, what's what I'm looking for? Create these scenarios that these characters are now having to be involved in, really pushes me to expand and think outside the box, as well as oh yeah, they did do a new model. Okay, sweet. All right, I got it. Okay, my dude, Jesus. But sorry, do something here. Okay, I need to adjust here. Head. Okay, settings, change model. I want to change model, change custom model, reset model. There we go. You tilt the, nope, go back. Tilt head. Nope, don't do that. Tilt down. Yes, here, and then turn here. Boom. Sorry. But being able to do that stuff and have them really kind of do things that are unexpected, or visit places that are unexpected, or do missions that are unexpected that I have to kind of create off the top of my head, or kind of have somewhat of an idea before we even start, is allowing me to really push myself, but also just kind of re-engage myself in this world, which in turn has pushed me to really want to really work on my comic again, and get this done. So actually, I guess I can kind of show you guys. So this is, let me back up real quick. So this is the, it's too big, but this is the book that I will be using for my world building. It's the same brand as my other sketchbooks. This is just an 8.5 by 11, I think. Like a computer paper size computer paper. So yeah, just slightly taller than a computer paper and slightly shorter width-wise as far as computer paper goes. But like, kind of give you an idea here. So like that's just practicing or testing my pencils and stuff like that. But like trying to figure out stuff in the world, this is what I mean. Like these are portals. Nothing is set in stone. These are just ideas that I've had and I've put them on paper. And this also allows me to experiment with coloring, markers and stuff like that, because if it doesn't work out, that's fine. These are just the ideas. Nothing is set in stone. Because even here, like this is watercolor. I do actually like how this kind of looks with the portal. I like this one. This is like a broken portal for my idea for that one. I don't have anything to scale except for this guy, and it was only because this would be the entry to the portal, like within a rock base type area. So, and like this is the continent that the characters are currently on, so that's why I'm working on that particular continent versus the other ones. But I'm able to just kind of experiment with what is on my mind at that moment, and not feeling like I have to work on certain things. So like when I first got that sketchbook, I was like, dang, I really like the thought of working on portals and kind of having ideas of what maybe some crazy portals would look like. So that is what I am, or what I was drawing, without this feeling of that's what I have to work on, or I can't work on that because I need to work on a town map first and yada yada yada. I can do all that stuff later. So there's no pressure for me in that sketchbook. At some point I'll even look into oh my gosh oh my gosh, what is it, like food and like festivals. That'd be cool, actually. Festivals, like what the festival designs would look like, and maybe what certain swords, like even now I'm like working on like certain magical stones, or stones, and what they would look like for that, and not feeling, like I say, pressured that it has to look a certain way, or that I can't experiment, or that when I'm drawing it out it has to be perfect, or even that the sketches I'm creating have to be perfect. I can do what I want with those and go from there. I'm just drawing this in so that way I can figure out where this eye is going to be. I actually need to do this because the eye was going to be here, here, and then there's another eye that's going to be here and here. Cool. So I'm gonna fix this one, sorry. But like I said, that working on this world and not having feel like there's any obligations to have this world look a certain way has allowed me to really dive deep back into this world that I am creating, with pretty much like with gusto, and really enjoy it. and not feel like it's a huge endeavor, or that I don't know. It just, yeah, I guess like it's a huge endeavor that I'll never be able to complete or feel unmotivated. Because at the end of the day, if I don't feel like working on a comic page, I don't have to. I can work on a map, or come up with sketches of like creatures or like random characters. And even though the world that I'm creating, everyone is human, the characters that my players are playing are not human. Like we have a leshy, which is a plant. We have a turtle, and then I also have what the heck is he? A dwarf, right? And even though they're in this world, and technically my world doesn't have these type of humanoid creatures, where these type of creatures are speaking and are moving around like a human would on this planet. I am allowing them to play non-human characters in my world, even though at the end of the day, when I do my world outside of the sessions that I'm playing, it's just humans. And I know that might seem kind of boring. I might do mutations of humans, and I was thinking more so of like the slinkiness or the height of characters, or like the depending on the environment that these people have lived in over adaptations and mutations, maybe their skin is a different tint, to help protect maybe the type of say pollen within the area, or because of the pollen in that area, these people's skin, after so many years living in that area, is permanently stained a certain color. Or maybe people who live maybe near volcanic areas, their skin is thicker. They have thicker skin than other people, so they don't cut as easily, and things like that, right? So all of that stuff is stuff that I look into and think about, or am thinking about, as I continue to build this world that my characters are currently playing in for my own world, if that makes sense. So that stuff is more fleshed out, and it is more it becomes something more like an actual breathing, a living, breathing world that you want to learn more about, as far as the people in it, and just I guess in general. So yeah. And because these beings are gods to them, like, actually this arm is super thick. Did I purposely make her thick like this? I might have. Could have moved this over. Well, she's probably probably going to have broad shoulders and stuff. That's fine. So here, so here, and this will go here, and then that way, and then here. This is probably gonna be a lot thinner. So actually, something like that. I have to change this, but like that, and then like this, which means this is going to go here. She's going to probably thicken out here. And I'll go something like that, maybe. Which means his arm is going to be a lot thinner. This is going to go here, and then something like that, give or take. So, but once again, being able to really explore my own world with my players is pretty cool. I enjoy it a lot. They're enjoying it. They're having a blast. I think we have finished our 4th session, and they are now just leaving the village that they started in, just because of the amount of stuff that they were looking to do and stuff like that. I literally let them kind of explore as they see fit. Like, I didn't want to prevent them from kind of, having like these, like, I do have certain things that I want them to accomplish, and even side quests that they can possibly take if they want. But I didn't want them to feel like they were being derailed from exploration. At the end of the day, these characters that my players play, they are warriors and druids and stuff like that. They're on their own mission, or they had their own quest that they are on, and in order to even reach their own personal goals, they need to be able to explore and ask questions and dive as deep as they want to within the lore of this world. And as they develop, or as they continue to explore and look into things that even I didn't think about, I'm forced to later on either one, come up with something on the spot, or when we're done with the current session, I now have to go and look into expanding the lore of that particular location, of a particular character, of possible locations nearby, maybe develop more information on locations that characters may have come from, with their past and why they act the way they do. An example, one of the things that I've done, this is completely off topic from me creating actually this comic, but anyway, one of the things that I've done within my story is that, or within my world, is that I have, this needs to actually go down, which means this needs to go down here. I did this wrong. I did this too short. Is that when my characters provided me with their background stories for their characters, I have gone out of my way to include their stories or their backgrounds into my stories or my world. I feel like this is off. So if they tell me like, oh yeah, because so one of the people that I play with, they're playing the turtle, right? They're playing this turtle race, and their particular turtle is looking to find, there we go, is looking to find here, and then they're looking to find their kind. Their kind has disappeared. They haven't heard back from they're kind. This person is this creature. She's a she. She has set out to locate some of her kind because they have disappeared and they have not returned. And she's trying to figure out where they're at, yada, yada, yada. And so what I am doing is I am incorporating that into my world. So I have a location of where they are stationed for my player to later on discover. But there are a few people that know or have seen this race, their race. They may have a little bit of information leading to how they can locate them, but it's going to require that that my player ask questions, follow clues, while they are exploring and can traveling with the other characters. And the other characters, they're on their own missions. I've got a Lushy who she's still not quite sure. The player is still not quite sure about her background story, but she was a helper to a druid. Right now, we're still trying to figure out if this character, because based off her stats, she is very wise, but also dumb. So funny how that works out. Wise because she's got experience, but dumb when it comes to things right off the bat. So we're trying to figure out if she accidentally killed her druid, which if she did, I have a storyline that I would like to do with that, or if her druid just died of old age. Now, if we do a situation where she accidentally killed her druid and is unaware that she actually is the one responsible for the death of her druid, then what I will do is I will have a quote unquote hit out on or a bounty out on her character, and at some point in time that bounty, these people are going to find her and the group will have to deal with that. Or if she died of old age, that's completely fine. Well, it is what it is. But also the funny thing with that character is because this character, like I said, is wise, but just dumb, just dumb, right? Like common sense is not a thing with this character. So like she will take stuff and is so almost like a thief, even though she's not playing a thief or like or anything like that. So her character will take things just because they're like, oh, that looks cool, and she'll take it because that's the type of character, that's the type of person her character is, and she's technically stealing, but she doesn't know that she's stealing. She just thinks that this is cool, I'm gonna take it because no one else needs it type situation. So that's going to cause some issues later on down the road when it comes to these characters and the trouble that they could possibly get in because this character is unintentionally stealing stuff. We have another character that so the guy that plays the turtle, he plays I think it's a neutral, chaotic good. in a sense where he is trying to do everything he possibly can to remain, remain a goody two shoes. And so me and my one of my other players, we were like, yo, I want to do, I want to do something that'll make this particular player have to actually do things that may not be the best, right? May not be sorry. So I'm trying to get this thumb together. It's irritating me. But may put this character in a situation where they're now oh my gosh, yo, this thumb. Let me do this. Okay, there we go. Where this character is gonna have to, they're not gonna be able to play the goody two shoes, right? They're not gonna be able to play the chaotic good that their character is. So pretty much what we have, me and another player have conspired to do is there's a plant that this character has found and no one has been able to identify it. But what it is that it will change temporarily how this character acts. So if they're a person that plays say chaotic evil, or they're a person that's constantly causing mischief on purpose, because it's this type of situation wouldn't affect the Lushy because the character is unaware of the trouble that they are causing. But if it's something that they're doing consciously, they have to pretty much play the opposite. Not necessarily the complete opposite, like chaotic good and going to chaotic evil. But they can't, if someone is chaotic good, they can't do actions that are considered chaotic good without doing a saving throw. So pretty much if this particular character, right, because they're not okay with theft or beating someone up to get information out of them, right? That's not a part that they won't do that. So if they try to do something that would be within their realm of that character, they're going to have to do a saving throw. If they fail said saving throw, they're going to have to roll for damage. But if they pass the saving throw, then they can do whatever action. It's not going to impact them. If they fail the saving throw, then they're going to have to roll for damage, and they're going to have to take that. So there's going to be a consequence to trying to go against what this plan is trying to make someone do, because it's pretty much going to be altering their conscience and I guess their state of mind or whatever, right? So we're waiting to see the character has gotten the plant but hasn't eaten it yet. So I'm hoping that this player eats this plant or drinks it or something like that, and then we can kind of initiate that storyline, because I want to see what would happen and how that character would play this particular situation if that is to happen. And yeah, or what would they do having that particular item? Would they toss it? Would they try to use it against an enemy? There's so many possibilities with that particular situation. So I'm interested to see how that is going to play out. I'm trying to think, is there anything? And then I even have a character. He is, and his background story is he's a prisoner. He's an ex-prisoner. So what I have done, because I want to help my characters feel like they are a part of the world that they are in, versus just kind of being dropped into it and being okay, here you go, have fun, so one of my characters one of my players, his character is actually a prisoner, or was a prisoner. So there is actually a prison on the continent that they are on that I have now that I now have this particular player being from. So this player is from this prison. There's certain information that he knows about the prison that the other characters do not, because they have not asked him, and he has not revealed that information about himself. So that's something that that is in the story now, or in the world now, or in this particular in my player base right now. So that's something that I think they're going to enjoy and have fun with. But yeah, it's interesting, like I said, to be able to do this with my players, and them not feel like they are. Why does this feel lopsided? Give me a second, guys. Why does this feel lopsided? What the hell? Maybe it's the torso? Undo. Nope. Maybe, there we go. But so this character has come from this prison. The prison has a particular name. There's a reason for that name. He hasn't revealed any information to the players regarding this prison that might be beneficial, but that information could be beneficial later and could help him connect with other prisoners who may or may not have done time in this prison later on down the road. So he has that in his arsenal, and it makes him feel more connected with the world because his character is from this prison that is somewhere on the continent that they are currently in. So I like that I'm able to do these things with my players, and in turn build interest for myself, for my world, and sorry guys, but it build interest as well as help me flesh out things within my world that I may not even thought about before. So that has been beneficial. I think we're over 2 hours, aren't we? All right, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. We're at 2 hours. I feel like I didn't get much for 2 hours. We got 1, 2, 3 rough figures in. I still have 4 more to go. So I'll wrap this one up, and then we'll come back and work on some more of this.